India's trash mountains are a fetid symbol of the country's plastic problem. Ravidas in New Delhi is a slum like no other. Its alleys are spotless, its drains regularly washed down with water, and its houses painted in bright crayon colors and decorated with plants. There are no fetid open sewers brimming with human waste. Piles of trash everyone. If Ravida's residents know that India has a trash problem and are trying to do their part to fix it. India consumed an estimated 15.5 million tons of plastic in 2016-17, to Plast India Foundation, an organization of major associations and institutions connected with plastic. That number is while one of Jahan's 4 sons gives a goat a soapy bath nearby, a man walks past carrying a basket of plastic and other household waste. The plastic will be. There is no processing of waste in most Indian cities, the Central Pollution Board, and in some cases, trash is simply burned in open dump yards on the main highway. Most likely, what is collected in Ravidas will end up on one of the huge landfills around New Delhi, where non-biodegradable materials mix with recyclable plastics, a mounting symbol of India's trash turmoil. Trash Mountain. In the east of New Delhi, the Ghazipur trash dump is just months away from rising higher than the Taj Mahal, an immense, 73-meter tall 240 feet wide, marble mausoleum. In India, about of the plastic the country consumes is simply discarded. Large amounts but the Ghazipur dump is not a one-off, it is just New Delhi's biggest example. In the north of the city, the Bulsway landfill greets drivers entering New Delhi from the north. At Bulsway, a steady flow of jeeps zigzag up the trash heap dumping their garbage, as hawks circle overhead. Fires caused by Lokesh, 40, who goes by one name, is part of this economy. In his truck, when throughout India, there is an army of informal sector workers, like Lokesh, who make their living from recycling. Pretty Mahesh, their work means that a lot of plastic is saved from landfill, but it also lulls the public into a false sense of security around plastic consumption, she said. The informal Still, there are few alternatives. The end of plastic menace. On World Environment Day 2018, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi pledged to phase out single-use plastic by 2022. It was enough for India, but a year later, experts aren't so sure Modi is going to be able to fulfill his promise. Of India's 29 states and 7 union territories, about 17 have implemented some form of single-use plastic ban or reduction, to government figures. While bans on Furthermore, the government is grappling with a lack of information on this issue. State pollution boards throughout the country are required to file information about the type and quantity of plastic waste in their region. But only 14 at most. The Ministry of Environment, Forests, and Climate Change did not reply to requests for comment. Meanwhile, Mahesh said there is a huge Environmentalists say that rather than just focusing on recycling, governments need to work on reducing the amount of plastic being produced. That will mean waking up to plastic reality. Public awareness around the issue of plastics, however, does seem to be growing, perhaps because trash is becoming such a global issue. China produces, from dramatic to plastic recycling in Delhi, and public initiatives like Modi's Clean India campaign, plastic waste is becoming more of a public concern. The Hola Challenge, one school in the country's northeastern state of Assam, has rolled out a scheme where kids pay for their school fees by bringing in plastic waste. And there are a plethora. While these are steps in the right direction, environmentalists say that without government standardization in recycling systems and greater industry efforts to reduce plastic consumption and production, change will not come. Plastic. In Ravida's slum, Jahan said she considers the challenge of shifting people's attitudes towards their trash habits her purpose in life. But Jahan will continue to try to change their mind.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.